Uh-oh. What's up, Rattlers? I don't know if we having technical issues or not. Give us 1 second.
Defense, number 17, Bobby Avengers. Make more damage.
Keith, are you on mute?
Now, y'all do have the lovely Ashley blocked by that QR code, though. If you're too pretty to be behind the QR code.
Tell him, big bro. Tell him.
Yeah, look, put one of us ugly brother. Don't put listen. Can't keep the listen.
I was waiting to let him know.
Yeah, you put me down there. They just like my voice.
I think we live.
Yeah,
we are. We are absolutely live. We are. Hey, everybody.
Well, let's go and get this thing kicked off. And I think keep a pick up in a minute. So we've assembled the FAMU Avengers to talk about the latest and greatest news. It's going into the holidays. It's a great day, and we have assembled some of the Avengers. We have a few that will be coming in shortly, and some that may have to leave a little early. But
it's not news time.
We have Troy, we have Marcus, we have Mr. Campbell, and we have Ash at this point. And there's some really big news that we've kind of known about, but now that it's official, we want to kind of break it down and talk about it. But before we do that, how's everybody doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Doing all right.
It's close to Christmas. We got us an early gift.
Yeah.
And we still got Christmas to open up some more gifts.
Absolutely. And
hey, Kelvin, I got one thing to say. I got one thing to say.
Go ahead.
At least that meeting this morning is going better than how we started out this evening. that is impressive.
That is for sure.
That is impressive.
Absolutely. We didn't FAMU it up. And I think that's where we need to start, Mr. Campbell. There's been a lot of discussion and a lot of anticipation of this, and it actually happened, and it actually went pretty smoothly. And we're going to get into the contract itself and some of the things that are in there. There was a lot of things about this process for me that was very impressive and unprecedented when it comes to definitely FAMU. And so I think I want to start it off by, getting input from the group. What do you think of the hire and the process of the hire? And Mr. Campbell, we'll let you start that off.
Well, for a lot of people, we did a live stream of the meeting, and we do that because I think a lot of people understand the Zoom is not safe. So if you didn't get a chance to see it on the Rocky Miller channel, on the Off Script channel, and the thing about it, I was prepared for us to do the FAMU thing of an hour and a half of everybody second in and third and the fourth in it of everything. So for that meeting to go technically 10 minutes and really only 6 of it was about the coach, I wasn't even prepared to start talking. I was like, oh, wait a minute, I got to get back on and start talking. So the fact that they were able to come in, not have to worry about no second, thirds, or fourths, and to have a good understanding that this was a fair and I want to say this really quickly, because again, I do a lot of contracts. I've had a lot of people look at this contract. This was a very fair contract on both sides.
Yeah.
And what I will say, and like I said, I'm going to start off with this. Sometimes this is good when you do have a lawyer because it was well written. So for Madam President, Suggs, General Counsel, and I'm pretty sure Coach Gray, his counsel looked at it, that I know bad contracts when I see them. And for the fact that we didn't have anybody questioning why is this and what does this clause mean and things like that, that's a well-written contract. That, man, just the fact that I had to talk for 30 minutes just to talk about how great the contract was made me feel really good compared to, and people know we've streamed those things before. We've had talked about raffle tickets and who was the 18th member and who was this coach and all that, and we didn't have none of that this morning.
Amen, brother. I agree with that. Ash, what's your comments on the hire in the process?
I'm overjoyed at the hire itself. I think it was at a time like this. I think it is necessary. He's shown who he is as a coach at his level, and we've seen the blueprint of sorts from D2 to D1 level HBCU coaches and coaches in general this level. So I mean, it bodes well for our expectations. But even when it comes to the contract itself, of course, we all took a look prior to today's confirmation of it, and I was elated and amazed and happy to see the additions to the contract, the intentionality. This contract was very intentional. Just like Mr. Campbell says, I deal with a lot of contracts as well. So again, he's 100% right. When something's good, right, and fair, and everybody can win, when things are done right. And to me, it was just fair across the board. It showed intentionality for some spaces that I think the Rattler Nation has mentioned in past times. It shows growth and improvement from what previous things have happened. And that's what you want to always see. I don't care if it's 2025 or 2030. You want to be better than you were the day before. That's just humanistic. So I love what I see because it shows the growth. It shows that we got some lawyers in the room that are on both sides of the coin. Coach Gray got a reasonable contract, a great contract in my opinion, and he was, he's coming in with some things that some other things we didn't do in the past, and I love to see the support that's being added in that manner.
Absolutely, Troy. What's your thoughts?
Wasn't this a great contract to rebuild trust with the fan base and the alumni?
Amen. Yes.
This season was a season of mistrust and just despair. And for us, I celebrate us as well to keep the faith in the institution to do the right thing. So when you see us blowing the papal smoke, having the collection of FAMU priests, that was because it was obvious the people that we hold most were losing faith. And this contract did everything to address that. This is a long-term contract for a long-term build to sustain the number one HBCU with 17 plus national championships in the future. I loved it.
And Marcus, what's your thoughts on the contract and the process?
On the contract, to reflect everyone else's comments, it reflects a modernization, and that's one of the things we've long talked about in terms of how we operate as an athletic department, in terms of implementing best practices that we've seen at other universities and other athletic departments, slowly moving away from the paradigm that we had before. And I know you and I have talked about it a long time in terms of back 70s and 80s, and we were operating as if we were a small business where everyone else was operating like a corporation. And this contract reflects the changes not only of that mentality, but also recognizing the rapid changes that are happening at the NCAA, at major college athletics in terms of implementing things that we've talked about in terms of revenue share and having that as a highlighted down in the contract, having NIL as a stated goal, some of the incentives that have been there in the past and previous contracts, but once again, retaining those, but also forward looking in that this may be a baseline going forward, recognizing that these are going to be must haves for anybody who comes to coach at FAMU, and making sure that we have folks in administration who would approve it. And it sounds like and this morning was a unanimous approval with very few questions, which surprised me, to be honest, but very few questions about what we're going forward as an athletic department, exemplified by the contract signed by Quinn Gray.
Well, first of all, let me say that Troy and the black popes with the orange and green assembling with orange and green smoke coming up was one of my favorite memes. And also the Lawrence Brown had one where Skinner's Fried Chicken or O'Leans. With your generation, you want to rely? I went through both of them, so they have the smoke coming out of Skinner's Fried Chicken, and O'Leans was just ecstatic. Was great. Now, in terms of my thoughts on the contract.
Now, Kelvin, one quick question for you.
Go ahead.
A quick question for the group. It seemed like there were some trustees who may not have jumped on in time. Does that have any impact on ratification? Because
no.
Okay.
No, they had a quorum, so
yeah.
Okay.
That was not an issue. And to that point, Mark, is actually one of my first thoughts is that this process showed alignment from the top of the from the board to the president to the AD to the coach. Everybody was on the same page, so there was no pettiness or infighting. Also, in terms of the process itself, we didn't have a committee. Obviously, there were some candidates that were already on the radar and vetted. So once the decision was made, that vetting process can continue. And from the time the season ended against Valley, and it's before Christmas, we have a new coach, and for the most, is very popular hire. Credential wise, but I thought the process was very impressive. I'm really surprised by what happens at FAMU, and I would tell you this surprised me so much so that I had to reach out to some of those folks involved in the process and tell them how impressed I was at this process and that they got it right. So that's where the bar was, but it was a great thing. Now, I'm interested let's talk about the contract itself and some things that are in it that were interesting, as well as talk about how that contract compares to recent hires, because we have some D2 coaches who came to the SWAC, as a matter of fact, that we can compare it to, as well as the celebrity coaches who seem to be about $100,000 more in terms of what they're getting paid, but nobody has that 5-year window, which again shows commitment and alignment. So, Ash, what are your thoughts about the contract? Is there anything in there specifically that you like or dislike, and how do you think it compared to the market?
Man, it's so many things I like about this contract, and I'm not gonna steal them all since I'm going first. So I'm gonna let y'all help, because I could point out at least probably 4 to 5 things that I just love about this contract. So one thing, if I'm just rattling off just off memory, these are the things that really stuck with me. And it was the commitment to NIL, to just put it in the contract. I do understand the verbiage that NIL clause or section entails, but it speaks volumes from a leadership university perspective on the importance of NIL for our student athletes. That's one thing. And one more thing that I'll say one more thing and let y'all have, because I don't want to steal them all. Another thing I really, really like is the commitment to grooming our coaches with the additional funds that goes towards professional development. And in any career that you're in, professional development is key. Growth. And we see year to year, we've seen it with the SWAC, for example. The SWAC, some years you're up, some years you're down, maybe as a conference, I mean. But we have a lot of great coaches that will influx at one time. Pretty much like next year is going to look totally different than last year's competition level from a coaching perspective and players, because coaches bring in the players that they can recruit. So for me, you have to always be evolving and getting better and going to these conferences and networking. And if you're doing good, you're probably going to have to keep you're going to have some turnover in your OC and DC and position coaches, because usually when at our level, when they do well, they get called for another job, right? So when you're staying networking is your net worth. So that's very important. And I like that we show some intentionality to put some funds behind grooming and improving and developing our coaches. So those are my two things.
Okay. Marcus, what you got?
Well, I guess the follow up on Ashley's point, and I guess one thing we noted either kind of qualitatively, and I had something somewhere where I was keeping track, but in Coach Simmons' era, just about every coach moved on to a job at a higher position, or even a peer school, but a different level, whether it be assistant coach at the G5 level, or a coordinator position, or another coach at an FCS level. There was a lot of coach promotion from his staff. So I believe, once again, that kind of ties into what we've talked about in the past and talked about for a long time in terms of launching pad, because if you get known for developing coaches and producing quality coaches, and also, I know we're celebrating Quinn Gray coming here, but if we develop the mentality and adopt the mentality that you can go anywhere from here, including head coach, that we become an incubator for coaching talent. So I think that's a good start. I guess the other thing that I mentioned was just, I guess I previously mentioned as it relates to some of the other supplemental items within the contract itself that is modern and will position us going forward to make sure that we remain competitive, we don't hit a lull, and a little bit more flexible in terms of being able to attract coaching talent, get player talent, and make sure we retain it.
Agreed. Keith, have you figured it out? Are you with us now?
I'm with you, man. My when I tell you my internet was giving me the devil's hell. Like, well, I literally I got the laptop set up and I'm on the cell phone. So I was like, what the heck? So that's what happens when you leave the friendly confines. But I'm pleased about the hire, man, and as we can see, Marcus shares.
You got echo. You got both of them on?
Probably got to mute one of them.
You got to mute one of the volume on one.
You fix it.
All right.
There we go.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. No, just love the hire, man. Very pleased with it. I think we hired the right person. And much like y'all said, I think it's the first time we've seen this board move in unity since before they hired the president. That was a good show of unity. Bravo to them. And honestly, that's what we need as a university, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I enjoy that myself.
Anything about the contract? Any one specific thing about the contract that surprised you or stood out, good or bad?
The years surprised me. I was surprised that we did a 5-year deal. I like the number, though. And one thing, it didn't surprise me, partially because Marv's a lawyer. And I got to give credit to the people who advised me about her. They're like, she's good. And so you can definitely tell a lawyer wrote that contract. And between her and AD Suggs, great job was done. And you can tell that they were listening to the voice of the FAMU. It may have been some of the FAMU that's on this show. But a lot of the things we talked about on our shows are things that they've addressed in this contract.
Yep. Mr. Campbell.
I'm going to say these words: value, value, value. And I think, Kelm, you look like you got a chart up there that it looks like a comparison. But I want people to understand and this is what I'm talking about, talking about how the contract was written. So when you first look at it, you say, well, you look at what Sam Shea got. You look what Chennis Berry got. You look what Gibbs got at North Carolina A&T, which is totally out the norm. Wow. And then you look at Marshall Faulk, and you say, well, he's underpaid. But what they did was they said, okay, we'll give you a salary, but let's give you a $25,000 signing bonus. which actually pushes that up. And then you look at the value. Well, Marshall Faulk is 1.2, and our contract is 1.2, but his is for 3 years. And because they had to give him so much money up front, and Southern came out with their big chest, we got $950,000 in coaching salaries. Well, guess what FAMU said? We brag different. We're going to do 1.2. And that 1.2 is already, if the word is on the street with the people that I've heard that he's bringing in, it's some bombs about to be dropped.
Yeah.
So the fact that you got the value with giving him value, because it feels good to get a $25,000 bonus, which could have been put in his salary. You know how that every 2 weeks, the difference when somebody give you that cash up front.
Different. That's different.
His wife gonna be happy whenever that check, because I wanted to see when they had to pay. They have to pay it
by the end of the physical year.
Right. So you know his wife like, you got that 25,000 yet? You got that 25,000?
Oh yeah, that signing bonus is different than that.
It's different.
We know in corporate America, you know,
it is different. So the fact of the value, and then again the number of coaches, the grad assistants, and special assistants, things like that. So again, when you're talking about, so it's two things that I know, and I guess I can say I know this for a fact. When that contract was put together, you had the knowledge of Angela, who understood the athletic side of it, because I think Marcus hit it on the head. And Ashley actually said it. Things that need to be addressed were addressed in the contract.
Mm-hmm.
That's because, see, that goes from experience. That I've been around this thing long enough to know what people complain about. And then the second part of being a lawyer is saying, okay, how do we make it? Because now we got to keep this money in a certain time frame, right? Of the 240. Now we don't have to go to the foundation, get extra, but we can go to the foundation, potential, or because we raised this money, we can give them $25,000 to push them up to 260. So those are things when you're looking at from the legal standpoint and from the experience standpoint. That was where I was excited once I saw the contract, because I knew right then and there we were getting a tremendous value. And the coach, because I'll tell you another thing too, what allows the coach to do, if he does what we think he's going to do, he'll get renegotiated anyway after year 3. Yeah. It's just the way, and we're not going to have, and I'm going to keep it above, we're not going to have, I don't know if you're worth it or not. I don't think we're going to have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're going to have that conversation. So we're already in alignment of, if he outworks his contract, there's growth there to pay him, and still we will still be of value, because then when you see these other guys who are not actually getting overpaid, because I'll tell you this, and let me be quick because I don't want to take up too much time. Think about what Mike Vick got. Mike Vick got Marshall Faulk money. Them folks is mad about that up in Norfolk.
All right.
So Deshaun Jackson, on the other hand, has earned it. So that's the catch-22. So I like where we're at because of the value.
And Troy, what you got?
Y'all know me. Y'all know I've been screaming the same thing for a very long time. FAMU has an advantage over every other school in the SWAC. And it wasn't meant for FAMU. It was meant for Florida State. It was meant for UCF, USF. We have the ability to use foundation funds and revenue share. I know a lot of people don't like to talk about that. But if you have revenue share and you have NIL third party, you have an advantage over everybody else in the SWAC. That is not your main recruiting tool, but it is a stick that you can use as one of your tools. So that was one of the things that made me happy about this contract. I was very excited about that.
I will say though,
that's a good point too. Go ahead, Keith.
I will add to this though, and I really felt like kind of looking at this contract. You kind of mentioned it. There was a level of growth and a level of understanding. I think if we're honest about this, Colsey got a contract that was meant for Willie Simmons. When you look at this, Quinn Gray got a contract that was meant for Quinn Gray after we learned from the mistakes that we made with James Colsey. And so I think that was very important. And it's not that, it wasn't a mistake hiring Colsey as far as just like everything that happened. Like, I don't want to seem like that. You can argue how you feel about the results, but I think it showed that we learned something. And I think that was one of the most important parts, just as a fan, to see like, oh, snap, we actually learned and we changed based on what happened. Because, like I said, Colsey's contract was built for a coach that had a winning track record, where with Quinn, you're building a contract that comes back and says, this is all that was going wrong with that coach and the previous coach. Let's fix some of those things that they were complaining about.
Yeah, and I'll just add, you got that escalator clause where it goes up 20 grand every year. So, I mean, over the life of the contract, the brother is going to be in alignment with the market anyway. But on the front end, the university is investing in his program. Mr. Campbell mentioned about, the 1.2 million staff, man. We're going to see exactly what that means in terms of the names that come as well as the results. I have, like Mr. Campbell, I have no doubts what kind of success we're going to see with this program and soon, early. Something that was in the contract, we talked, you all pointed out some things that just stood out to me. To have summer school. We know the issues we have every year about summer school with student athletes. To have that in the contract where 65 kids can attend summer school. That's big. That's important, right? It helps you with the team chemistry. It also brings kids on campus. It also gives kids access to get an early start, to get adjusted to collegiate life and the program, the weather, depending on where they're from. And for those who might need a little extra catch up, it gives them that opportunity. So to have that in the contract was big. Have summer camps in the contract where we can not bring prospective student athletes from the high school level to participate in middle school, frankly, on campus and also generate revenue, but expose them to our culture and to our program. I think it's really going to be big and huge, and have that written into the contract. To everybody's point, it shows that we have vision at the top now that is all in, which leads me to the other part that was so beautiful about this launch. And once everything was approved, we got. And I'm gonna let Ashley start this off because she's probably a little bit more aware and familiar. But we launched a fundraising campaign today, 250 grand, and it's everywhere. And we got the head ball coach, the new head ball coach, already on video and social media with supporting it. So, kind of talk about we had a process. Check, we got the right guy, check, and now we're taking that momentum into the Christmas holidays the same day, and we've got a fundraising initiative specifically for football. So kind of talk about it, Ash.
Well, I mean, to this morning, I was already elated at how well the voting for the approval of the contract went, right? So I'm like, oh, just like everybody else, surprised. Like I expected some level of opposition, even just if it was just like a, hey, what about this? And it was none of that. It went so fast, I was like, wait a minute. Looking around, ain't no way this happened like this. But it did. And it was like, okay, this is real. And then to get on social media and then to put the icing on the cake was the campaign that came behind it. And I honestly been looking at the campaign, like the ticker, like it's growing. It's actively growing. We're building on the excitement that's already there. Oftentimes we've missed excitement. Like there might be an excitement, there might be a pocket here, there might be some situations here, and that's just strictly business and marketing, right? Like which shows another level of growth because intentionality is proactive, and it's just like, hey, there's some excitement here. Let's build on that. So let me tell you how to do this right coming up at this press conference. Let's get these season tickets rolling. Because that's going to be another level of excitement that we'll all have when we see him get up there and give his first speech and do his FAMU baby rattler, alumni rattler, all the things, I'm coming home type speech. Build on the energy. Continue to push the $250K initiative because that $250,000 will work wonders for Coach Quinn and that football program. In more ways than one. It's not necessarily an NIL thing, not necessarily a nutrition thing, not necessarily it could work wonders in multiple ways if we lean in and continue to be all in with Coach Quinn. So I love it. It was just the icing on the cake for me. I mean, after seeing the contract go over as well, you couldn't have made me any more happy, and you actually found a way to make me even more happy by starting rolling out this campaign like clockwork.
Agreed. It exceeded my expectations. And for those who may not know, the reason why there's no official press conference, etc., is not only is it going into the holidays, but the university is closed and doesn't open back up until after January.
Right.
So there'll be a formal introduction and press conference for the new head ball coach. When
we have the video opens. Too.
Yeah. Troy, go ahead. I'm gonna let you go next.
And are we not happy?
Static.
Listen,
y'all know. Egg now.
y'all know the 5th district, as I call it, is St. Pete. And I have not had the best relationship with the 5th district. But recently, the 5th district is seeing the light. That don't mean that I ain't gonna cuss him out later on. But as of recently, the 5th district has been doing what is needed. They believe in the new era of college sports, and the fact that there was buy-in from the board of trustees, man, every complaint that I had prior to the Florida Classic, I don't have that complaint no more. That don't mean I don't have complaints, but the specific complaints I had, I don't have those complaints right now. And that's all I can ask.
Mr. Campbell?
Let me say this. I knew about this, and I know the genesis of it, and I'm going to give it because this is my freshman brother, Marvin Green, was the one that put this together, had this thing ready to go out the gate. And this is what I'm talking about, progression and progress. We've seen all this stuff before, and I'll roll it all the way back to Celebration Bowl. We should have raised $2 million. We should have literally had something like this. Once we won the Celebration Bowl, we did. We didn't have no championship cups, no hats, no shirts, no nothing.
No, nothing.
They had all that. So the fact that Marvin and the whole team, and this is what I'm saying about collaborating. I talked about this morning during the viewing party. It's about collaboration. There are people that sat down and said, what do we need to do so we can do totally opposites of what we've done before? And the fact that Marvin and, like I say, Angela and President Johnson and, those that are involved, Brandy Tatum and all those people in the foundation to say, let's get this going. And then you saw this push from all these different avenues to the point, and like I say, I think Keith said he's got the video where the coach, who has not done a press conference, like, hey, this is what we're doing with an acronym that goes along with it. Now, the little things I would have rather for him say leadership or something like that. I'm about to talk tomorrow about the acronym a little bit. Please him on that. But other than that, to see that roll out and to be, and like I said, and to have it so well done, where now, like I said, I'm already looking at it, and I just dropped the link in the chat, and I think they're already at $12,000 already. Yeah. So that says a lot. And like I say, shout out to my freshman brother. I'm proud of Marvin. And like I said, I've known Marvin from day one. He's a consummate professional. And this is what he does. And that's why he was the right man for that job. And like I said, I'm just proud of my brother. I'm so proud of him.
Keith, you got the video queued. And if you do, you can go ahead and I'm going to let you take over and you can go ahead and roll the video.
Yeah, give it a second. It's coming up.
Well, it's coming up. If you got any commentary, you can share it about the campaign.
I know individually, I'm just excited for it. I'm just trying to see if it'll come on up and do its thing. But
yeah, I guess the
strike campaign has now begun. $250,000 is what we're trying to raise for our student athletes here on campus. We're asking for donations of $250, $500, and $1,000 to build the momentum taking this thing into the 2026 season. We're asking that all of you are all in, just as I am, here on campus. Click the link below and make sure that you're all in with myself and Rattler Football.
Yeah,
I guess my only critique will be,
go ahead.
give us an MP4 quality. Because that they sent us like a MP3 something, and the MP3 version looks much cleaner. But obviously, you can't run the MP3 on StreamYard and some other services. So send us an MP4 copy.
Yeah, for those who may have not gotten the email or seen the video, you can check out, I think, all of our social media pages. We have it there. So make sure we get all in and fully support this campaign. I know I'll be making my contribution. I probably make a couple of contributions between now and the end of next month. So, Marcus, you had something you was getting ready to say?
Yeah, I was going to say just the fact that it rolled out. I agree with everyone's point that it shows synergy between all the parties involved, between Angie. Well, I don't know. I guess she's VP. I don't know if she's the title. I know she's special assistant to the president. I don't know if it's a VP, but between
special assistant to the president. That's the actual title. Special assistant to the president.
I mean, I know she's not VP, but I didn't know if that was a VP level.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I address her properly. But between her, Marvin, and also the fact that this video, what it speaks to me, not only taking advantage of the moment, but also speaks to the relationship between all the people involved, because I have no doubt, whether it's spoken or not, somehow Vaughn was involved. I mean, you have people who are all FAMUans who are all integrated, and I don't necessarily know that if it was someone who was outside of and not a beloved son coming back as coach, that you would have all this synergy behind the scenes. So as soon as the Zoom as soon as the closed meeting on the Zoom happened this morning, boom, you got a press release. A few minutes later, you got the campaign, and all of that speaks to the alignment not only of the administration, but the relationships behind the scenes and the long-term relationships behind everyone involved to getting done. I mean, it's within minutes. And I don't think if there was someone who would have been outside of Quinn Gray or someone who's coming back to FAMU as a Rattler, I don't know if that alignment would have been shown if we would have had things turned around. And it also, once again, speaks to the point of what we did not do or what we didn't have ready right after the Celebration Bowl. So once again, we had at least enough institutional knowledge there to make sure we're taking advantage of the moment and didn't wait a prolonged amount of time to build on the excitement.
Do you think it was just institutional, or was it just also like professional experience? Like, we talk a lot about what
professional experience, but also institutional knowledge of people who were here. And we've all spoken on our own platforms how we really dropped the ball. Even though Coach Simmons moved on to a new role, there is no reason that we shouldn't have had, at least in draft form, even if it's a graphic and something else, in terms of as soon as the clock hit zeros, that we had stuff rolling out. And it's just like the Super Bowl. If the other team doesn't win, they send them off to someplace else to somebody, to use T-shirts or whatever. But you got to have the button ready to hit as soon as the clock strikes zero if the game is won in your team's favor, so you could take advantage of all that excitement and momentum. And there would have been a big hit with Coach Simmons leaving, but you would have had paraphernalia, you would have had different things. And we even spoke to a couple people behind the scenes who had some graphics ready and things that we wanted to submit to the department for approval for like a championship design logo, and things just wallowed. So things like that, I don't expect to happen going forward.
So Keith, I'm not sure if you're ready, if you want to go to break or do you want to keep rolling? The only thing
let's keep rolling.
Okay, I'm gonna let you take over now. I just jumped in because we had that false start at the beginning.
Technical difficulties.
We got a flag. We got a flag.
That was the closest I came down. That's how close y'all saw the Howard football game.
Yeah,
I was back there. So I know Mr. Campbell's got to run pretty soon, but
yeah. So the next question I want to pitch this one question I think is appropriate, and the audience probably want to hear it too. What makes this hire the right hire, in your opinion? What is it that you like about this hire specifically? And I'm going to let Mr. Campbell start that question off.
Well, I think, and we talked about this, I have the fortunate job to be able to talk to a lot of coaches. And you can literally look at the Celebration Bowl to show you why this could be a potentially awesome hire. coming from that same conference. You're talking, well, of course, TJ comes from Valdosta State, but you're looking at people that are battle tested.
Yeah.
That understand what it means to build a program. And I'm talking about building a program with less. So that's another thing too. That is very hard to do. So you got to really micromanage that. The second part, which I think is great, is that Quinn Gray understands FAMU, and he was a star. He wasn't the guy in the background. So when we're talking about teams that won playoff games that nobody has done since the FAMU Rattlers, when you talk about national championships, so he understands both sides of that. So for people to come in and him to able to communicate, which I think, again, if you haven't seen the interview that we did with him, again, ABC Coach's Corner, an effective communicator also.
Yeah.
That's the thing about, so that's the reason why I'm excited, because again, there were celebrities I know we were talking to and things like that. But here's the great thing about this, and I'm going to say this again. We're raising money, and he's not a celebrity, but he's a celebrity for FAMU. And that, to me, gives us an advantage where we ain't got to give 30% away, 40% away, 20% away. It's all going to come in-house because he understands that the money he helps raise is going to help FAMU.
Well said. Keith, why is this the right hire?
I'm gonna bounce back a little bit to the not a celebrity guy. Quinn played with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He played in NFL Europe. Like, that matters. Like, one of the big things we keep hearing about when people talk about Ed Reed and all these other guys are their connections. It's, even though the ownership has changed, right? We've seen what the Jaguars made of purposeful choice to try to bring back former Jaguars, and he was there during one of their heydays. That matters to me. He was at FAMU during our heyday. He helped bring Albany State back. So he's the right hire because, as mentioned, he understands the culture. His family's already here. But he's also a son of FAMU, and he's a native son of FAMU, not a prodigal son. Stop calling him prodigal son. He did nothing wrong.
Say that for the people that didn't go to church in the back, okay? I'm going to say this. I'm sorry I got to get on the soapbox. Stop doing that. That let me know you have no clue that you never read the Bible. He did not lose his inheritance. He did not come back in shame. He's coming back triumphant. No. Okay? Thank you. Jesus. I'm sorry. That was one of my pet peeves.
I mean, that's why he's the native son. And he's reinvigorated the fan base. Like, the alumni base are excited. Yeah. I mean, I went by campus and it was empty. But you can tell just from listening to the conversations of, when the street committee's talking in the background, they're excited. You're hearing people say, hey, let's get this season ticket drive going. Let's try to get people excited about buying these tickets. There's energy back in the program. And you wouldn't think we just had a losing record.
Very true. Marcus?
Yeah, I'm going to start off with we're going from Willie Simmons visor.
Marcus with the props.
I know y'all got Marcus in on this now.
Oh, goodness. To the quarter zip.
Did he freeze?
I think so.
He might have froze. He could. They shut him down when he's about to show the quarter zip.
Even the computer was surprised that he had props, right?
Right.
All right, Troy, go ahead and jump in there.
So after the rumor started, it was a lot of talk about we should pick this person or that person, go get the Ibis, never an Ibis. But this hire addresses everything. He is a championship. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. He is a HBCU national championship coach who improved his team year over year. Yeah. He was competitive in the NCAA Division II playoffs. This is everything you could ask for. This is a gift horse. And he's an alum. You can't. This is a marketing machine ready to print money.
Mm-hmm.
So this was
an active alumni, not just alumni. He's active.
Even better. So I get why everybody was going to those games at Albany State. I get it, and I was pleasantly excited during that period, but I also was trying to maintain focus because I know we had other stuff going on, but we knew this who was going to be. Like, I'm not going to play with y'all. We knew this who was going to be. We might have had some little fluctuations in spirit, but we knew who this was going to be.
Yeah, and I'm just going to mention, I did go back and look at the preseason review we did with the Avengers, as well as the week before the Albany State game. I believe Keith was on that episode with us because I believe Marcus was out. And I think Mr. Campbell told you about the 220 Club and what that Albany State game was going to be and what it would mean.
I didn't tell him, didn't he?
There was some smoke. There was some smoke.
And then, you know, I also, you know, on both shows, but particularly the show before the Albany State game, said it wasn't going to be a blowout. I think I predicted 28-21 score, something like that. And that in Quinn's mind, he was auditioning. Now, in Quinn's mind, he's just a competitor. He was coaching his team. But everybody understood that if he looked like they end up looking and had the season that they had, his name was going to come up in any possible scenario. Now, what makes him the right hire for me? It's a lot of things, but just the list for me is everybody talk about experience. Head high school coach for at least 7 to 10 years at 2 different high schools, one in Jacksonville, one here in Tallahassee. Offense coordinator, QB coach, both in the MEAC and the SWAC at FAMU, and then at Alcorn, quarterback coach at the Group of 5 level with Memphis. People forget, they talk about the Jaguar, but they forget about the championship he won as a quarterback in NFL. What was it, Europe? Is what they call it?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
Along with his accolades as a player at FAMU, so he's had successful experience, not just experience. And then him, of course, being from this area, you know, when we recruit, we're gonna have to recruit South Georgia, North Florida, locally. So he checks every box possible. And then, as I believe it was Troy who linked it, the whole connection with the alumni base. I mean, everybody's happy. You can see it in what people are trying to do in terms of giving money. And I'm telling you, when you hear the staff, when he started announcing his staff, you know, it's going to be a lot of rattlers who go over the top. Going to start selling wolf tickets left and right. Bend eyebrows and all.
You got Mr. Eyebrow on the screen right now.
No
He already
eyebrows,
ready.
no chest out.
So I know
You
Mr.
might
Campbell,
keep your eyebrows this time, Troy.
I know Mr. Campbell got to go. I'm not sure if he's still listening or not. If you are, Mr. Campbell, if you can jump back off, I was going to give you a minute. But whenever he comes in, I let him do his thing. Keith, go ahead, Ms. Campbell. I know you got to go, so get in whatever you want to get in right now. The floor is yours.
Hey, listen, I just want to tell the FAMU faithful, we suffered this year, and a lot of people on this, and like I say, done so much work. I just want to say, and again, I think it's very important. You got to, you know, we had a lot of turmoil with the presidential hire. I'll just be honest with you. It was a lot of up and down with that. But one thing about me, I don't talk about the man unless I know the man. And I will say this, as far as with this, and I hope this is a good omen going into 2026. So this was a successful hire for athletics. I hope President Johnson takes us forward to academics, and then FAMU can be the total #1 public HBCU. So, guys, I appreciate you. Got to run over to HBCU Coaches Corner. Got Savannah State coach. But if you guys are still on, I might be back. And once again, I appreciate you all. Love you all. And happy holidays to all my rallies.
Happy holidays to you, man.
Happy
Appreciate
holidays.
you. All right, Keith, I'm turning the keys over to you now. You got the script.
Marcus,
my
like Marcus look like he's ready.
Yeah, let me jump in before my internet jump out again. But yeah, I got on my QG quarter.
Come on in, Marcus.
I got on my QG quarter instead of the fitted cap and the Willie Simmons visor. But I agree with all points, and I was asking Keith to put up the slide, but don't worry about that, because you look at all the people and the hires in the last 2 seasons. A lot of them are program builders, and Coach Gray has shown throughout his career, starting at Andrew Jackson in Jacksonville and then going to Lincoln. Well, going to FAM, then going to Lincoln and other places, that he's a program builder, and that he has elevated the places that he's been. And even though we had a slight 2-year lull, that bodes well for bringing what he brings to the table, but also what the university has recognized as deficiencies in the past in terms of the contract, in terms of support, and having those dovetail so we can have something that's sustainable and that's comparable on our level and above as it relates to how we operate the athletic department and the program.
Absolutely.
Love that. I love that. Look, Kelvin kind of hinted at something right here. And Troy, he kind of hinted at something as well. We might be kind of excited about some of the coaches we might see. Hopefully you're excited. I don't know about you, but me personally, when I'm hearing that the football coach is going to bring some new assistants in it, right? Let me see, will it play? There we go. What's the coaching carousel looking like? Just want to put that out there, kind of ask a friendly question. And we know Troy says never an Ibis, but can we have that as a potential option? So, what do you say, Yee? Who might be some of our potential assistants?
Well, if you believe some of the speculation, and let's be clear, it's just speculation. There's a certain coach who was at UAB, who previously before going to UAB was the defensive coordinator at Alabama State for about 4 or 5 years.
Right.
Who's a potential candidate for the job here. Of course, he has someone on his staff who the defense coordinator. You got to remember, Albany State. As much as they talk about how many points they scored, they had like a top 5 defense in the nation, Division II, and his defense coordinator was Chris Cash, who also coached here at FAMU on the same staff when Quinn coached here, right? So
former NFL player.
Yes, former NFL player.
Is there room for both?
Well, I'm sure there's room. They have co-coordinators all the time, or one can be in a role of assistant head coach or something else, and one be the actual defense coordinator. They all gonna have a position anyway. So there's speculation. If someone from his previous staff coming over, that probably would be someone you would look at. And I imagine Quinn knows a lot of people, a lot of coaches. There may be a former FAMU Rattler, former FAMU coach that is pretty popular, that may be coming back to the fold, who retired. And I tell you, just those 3 names alone. Those three names along.
Put them 3 together. Whew.
Oh man, I mean, you talking about talent?
Everybody get your roll.
Everybody.
Along with success and winning. Yes. If you just make those 3 things happen, man, I'm just telling you. But those 3 names that I figure would be in the midst. Go ahead, Keith.
I would love to have Lincoln High School, class of 2003. NFL player Antonio Cromartie. I would love for him to come back. I think he would be a good coach, at least for the secondary. It's a good way for him to cut his teeth, right? We saw he coached the Texas A&M under Jimbo Fisher. He's kind of out there. He's a name, local guy, understands the local talent. I would also love for him to potentially bring it. Pat Watkins was on the staff before when we made that Celebration Bowl role. That's another name. Let's not forget about guys like Jaquay Nunnally as well, receiver. He's also, coaching high school, South Florida roots. So just kind of looking around, seeing some of those names. Those are some of the things I would love to see. And honestly, I like the idea of maybe keeping Coach Burris on the staff. I think as much as we talk about the Celebration Bowl year, I think the year before, FAMU's offense actually probably looked a little bit better because you start to kind of realize Musa had a quarterback coach and an offensive coordinator. And it just seemed like the quarterbacks developed a little bit better when they had a head coach and a quarterback coach that could just focus on doing their thing.
There's a couple of local folks who coach and were superb athletes that are here too. Might as well throw it since we just throwing names against the wall. You know, you got Crow here, Antonio Cromartie is around and available and wants to coach actually.
He does.
Very passionately.
Yes.
Yes.
And then you have
and he has a son across the street.
Yeah. Then you have Ron Dugans who sat out this year with a long coaching tree. You know, that's someone who may or may not would be in the hat. Anybody got any other names?
I know
Kelvin
Elliott. While his coaching tree may not be as extensive as some of the names being named, but he's put himself out there and said he's interested in, you know, coming back, and that's some more of that Rattler blood, that dog, you know, that he just has naturally in him. That might be, and I'm not saying necessarily for a wide receiver coach, but you know, it's some role that could be beneficial. He's young enough, you know. If we look at the landscape of college football and sports, but really football, like it's moving towards younger coaches. There was a time where you had to be 45, seemed like 50. You know, you couldn't be 30 coaching. You couldn't be 29 coaching. You couldn't be 35. And if you were probably, you know, working your way up. So I think that bringing some of that young blood in who loves FAMU as much as Coach Quinn and all the others do, who had some professional experience as well. Like Kelvin Elliott has put his name out there and had as an interest level. And all these again are just disclaimer. These are all speculation and interest level speaking. But he's interested, and I don't know. Maybe there's a space for him somewhere in Fieldhouse.
If I remember correctly, I think he was when he came on our show. He mentioned it. I think he was helping or coaching at like West Boca.
Yeah, he's done some high school coaching, and
right.
I believe he was also the team mentor, like on previous player. I don't know the exact role, but he did have a role. And maybe I got Jordan J. Peeps is on now. He can confirm. When he was on this show, Kevin Elliott mentioned that he had a role previously with FAMU football. I can't remember. It wasn't in a coaching capacity, but it was more like a
advisory
capacity. Yeah, kind of like, hey, let's it was something of the nature. So he's not foreign to it at all, for sure.
And one other thing, I did see a tweet today from the Evans High School account in Orlando. It said they mentioned there are 3 former FAMU players, and they support this hire. So I don't know, and it'll be interesting to see if there's any angling going on behind the scenes. But one other name, I know Keith mentioned Jacquay Nunnally. One other name that I think would be interesting would be his head coach, Tyron Johnson, who was the AD at Norland and went back into the head coaching role this year. So he's been in Norland like 3 or 4 years, and he's been around the circuit in the Miami area. So I don't know to what degree, if any, you know, he would be interested in that role. But now we start to see, you know, some of the Billy Joe era Rattlers who may be in the coaching realm and looking at either moving on or helping us build it back up that may be in that mix. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out. And also of note, during the interim before it's actually announced and everything today, and I was sharing this with Keith, or maybe it was with Kelvin, that there's like 3 or 4 offers of kids from Broward over that interim period. At least 3 kids, maybe 4 from Archbishop McCarthy that were offered last week or so. So that Broward connection, you know, even during that interim period, my suspicion is just that, you know, there were some things going on behind the scenes there. And there was a kid from, I believe he's at Norland now, but may have been previously at Miami Central. And Keith helped me dig that one out in terms of another offer of a player. So there's been some things going on in the background in terms of offers that would lend itself to what we see today, but also taking advantage of previous connections.
And there's I'll tell you all in the back channels. I'm not gonna call his name, but there is a high school level coach who has shown, who does have some interest on the defensive side of the ball, of coming over and actually kind of had some in during Willie Simmons' time was around the program, but on the defensive side of the ball, Tallahassee, and would it has some interest, but I want to protect until we get these things. So I was gonna talk to y'all about it anyway, but there's some interest, and you want to get those guys that have that high school pipeline, that have that I mean, we know Coach Quinn and his guys have that Florida pipeline, but high school matters as well as of course portal. But I'll have to say it in the back channel so it don't go too far.
Okay, all right. Well, let Keith, let JP jump in. Since he just came up and what we talked about, what we covered so far, JP, was the process, the whole process of the hire, the contract, and why Quinn is the right hire. So if you want to jump in and kind of address all those things, go have at it.
Well, first thing I want to say is happy holidays to all 5 of you. Hopefully everybody in the comment section, hopefully everybody's having a wonderful holiday and everything. Sorry I'm late. I had what's up, man? I had a Bucks podcaster on. Long story short, Todd Bowles likely will be gone. But the other thing too is I just want to say, I'm happy that Quinn's back, man. I don't know if Quinn's watching. I had him on back in 2020 during the pandemic. He was down in Miami chilling, and we spoke to him. But I got this year from 2001. I'm sure we were all there. It's crazy how you have a full circle moment with life and everything. It's crazy I still have this. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I saw Evans High School, they mentioned it because I know Chad mentioned on the Rattler Roundup how, he's coaching there and everything. And I was like, it's good to establish the relationships with these high schools. I think that Quinn should also tap in with, Keir Hall and try to establish a relationship at UGalley, continue to tap in all over the state. I mentioned it to Mr. Campbell earlier today when he was on Off Script Show, start back, winning, Broward, West Palm, Dade, Hillsborough, go into Polk. I'm forever saying, go win Polk County. That's been a stronghold for the Gators for so long, but why
you got to say it right now. You got to say it right. Polk.
Yeah.
Now that K silent. It's Polk County.
I say Grady Judd's County. That's what I used to say. But yeah, I like the entire hire. I like what he is going to bring to the staff. What he's going to bring to the program. He's going to bring a lot of support. We have to back him. I will also say, and just throw this out there, Mitchell, I don't know who's in charge of Mitchell and Ness, but I feel like we need to do something to get in touch with them and sell his old school jerseys in whatever color it is, whichever one's popular, whether it's orange, green, or white. Sell those jerseys in the bookstore and in Tallahassee Mall, Governor Square, malls in Jacksonville. Sell those old school 2001 jerseys. Sell them, and then hey, a portion of it goes back to him, a portion of it goes back to directly to football, because people will buy it. Because I'm someone, I'll buy it. Look, I'm just saying, that's my take of it.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned Evans though, because that's the school that if you can win at Evans, you can do a lot. And it's not saying it's not that it's a bad program, it's just a program that is often overlooked in Orange County. So normally everybody goes to Jones or you go to Edgewater. But in the past 3 years, quietly, Evans has become one of the better programs in Orlando.
VM Matt, he likes it. He's a fan of it. He's very happy. Because he remembers when Quinn was playing for the Jaguars. So I'm also happy about it too.
Yeah, and I've been seeing he's got a lot of the Jacksonville backing, the Jaguars faithful.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
It matters.
It does.
Like you can't just throw any NFL coach at FAMU.
Mm-hmm. And we did make an offer today. You guys probably saw that to a linebacker at Worth County, which just won the Class A Div 1 state title in Georgia.
Right.
And he's a defensive player. He's an all-region defensive player of the year, and he transferred last year. I want to say 2020. I guess this was his first year. He came from Colquitt County, and then went to Worth County. So, the first thing, it was literally minutes after the BOT meeting concluded. The offer was made within an hour. So it'll be interesting to see how things progress as it relates to his connections in South Georgia. And down in Broward County. And like I said before, I suspect that some of those offers for Archbishop McCarthy, who made, I think they made the regional final. So they made it to the third round in Class 4A. These are for 2027 players. But, now that he's actually officially in the mix, and there was a player from his team who had put out an offer, I want to say over the weekend, and I don't know if it got yanked. He said, hey, because it said, I just had a conversation with Coach Q Gray, and it was before he signed the contract. So I don't know if it got yanked because he said, hey, man, whatever. That's my speculation. But he was a transfer DB who made all SIAC this year. So we'll start to see some of that trickle through.
And South Georgia is really important. That's the one area I think we really dropped the ball on. And there's great football there. So I was ecstatic to see. I reposted on purpose, hoping that someone saw it. And I don't know if it had anything to do with it, but I was glad that we offered the Thomas County Central quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
We offered
him in May.
We offered him back in,
We offered him in May, and we offered like at least 4 of their players. Of course, the running back is going to Wake Forest, but there's another linebacker who goes about 6'2", 210, who's a Tally native, transferred from Florida High, and he made second team all region this year. So, and actually, Allison, she confirmed. She said FAMU folks were at the state semifinals that they were hosting there, and I'm assuming there are some folks up there, and I know that Orlando McKinley, he was on QG's staff up until this year. He's on there, I guess, the last couple of years. He's on this staff as a defensive analyst. So we'll see how things progress with that. But I think he was up at some of the state finals as well. And we do have at least 4. I want to say 3 or 4 players. Excuse me. You had 4 players who were in state finals, and 3 of them won. And the only one who didn't, 3 of our 4 commitments that we had were in state finals. 3 of them won, and the only one that didn't win was the offensive lineman from Miami Northwestern. So, it was either Northwestern or Rain. So somebody had to lose. But 3 out of our 4 commitments won state titles. So TJ Cole with Reigns, Iggy Zalatia at just the school.
Florida kid.
Yeah, it just went out of my mind. Not McCarthy. It's one of the Catholic
side. It's not Chaminade or something like
that. Chaminade Madonna?
No, it wasn't Chaminade Madonna.
It was like that.
Oh, that's one school we need to hit too.
And who was the other one? Cedric Kelly out of Creekside High School in Atlanta. So they all won state titles in their respective. And one of our late offers, also was in a state title game, but he lost. And that was Jordan. I think his last name is Jordan. Yeah, Cardinal Newman. Thank you, Jordan. Couldn't remember the name. Iggy Zalatia out of Cardinal Newman, won Class 1A. But also another in Georgia. They lost the Class A private. He lost in the finals, but he's another offensive lineman that we offered. So we got some talent that have been offered and verbally commits. Interested to see, what transgressed, how things progress with the verbal commitments and whether they're fitting in line with where he wants to go in terms of the team makeup, and hopefully it will be.
That's what's up, man. Well, let's take a break real quick. We're going to come back, wrap it up, and we're going to kind of get y'all perspective, give y'all a few minutes to think about, now you got a new coach. What do you think the new result's going to be? Any new changes? Too early to tell. How many games you think we're going to win? how many times is Troy got to shave his eyebrows. We're gonna do that after this
Oh
break.
my gosh, we don't even know the schedule yet.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
Into these colleges, and we have to fund our kids in these colleges, and we have to make sure our kids have seats in these colleges.
Now what about HBCUs? You mentioned
absolutely. You got to fund them all, and you got to make sure they're properly funded. You know, the real reason why I went after Comcast and Charter, it didn't have anything to do with my cable networks. It didn't. What happened was a gentleman wanted to do the Black College Sports Network in partnership with the HBCUs. And Comcast did not accept it. And that would have made a lot of money for these black colleges.
Absolutely.
And it would have educated the Black College Sports Network. This is what he wanted to do. That would have educated a lot of black kids. And when they didn't do that, that's when I came off the bench and said, okay, I'm going to light you up like a Christmas tree. Okay. That was the real reason why I got into it, was when I saw what happened with the Black College Sports Network, which I don't own. I just knew.
Why didn't you buy it?
I just knew. I just knew that these black.
I like that talk.
All right. I knew that these black colleges were going to benefit, and these black kids were going to get the education that they deserved and not have to pay.
There's a shot. To right. It could be. Right field. Grand slam. What a shot. That's how you get hot, young fella.
Thank you, guys, for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do, and all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more.
Welcome back. Let's finish it up, man. Look, good friends, good time, good people. And fortunately, my friends have good internet. Because I tell you what, boy, we almost had a custom fit today. But you got a new coach. It's a new beginning. It's a new day on the highest of Seven Hills. The return of the native son. Oh, I mean, he's really a South Florida native, but he graduated from FAMU. So at this point, cut us some slack, right? Y'all excited? You know, Marcus a little excited about this recruiting. And how y'all feeling about next season, though? You know, what kind of excitement? You know, we got season tickets to maybe buy, lies to tell. You know, who we gonna beat by 40? Like, how y'all feeling about next season because of the new regime?
Let me start off by saying there's a lot of things that we got to see through. All right, we got off to a great start. We got the right person who knows the culture. We got some great things in terms of the contract. In the contract, we got this fundraiser happening. In between now and then, he's got to fill out his staff, and recruit some of the players back who were trying to get in the portal, along with get his players in, and the university itself, we're in alignment. We got to stay in alignment. We got to raise these funds. Those things in the contract, we got to make sure the funds are there when they're due. Summer school, I'm thinking about specifically. We don't need no hiccups when summer school happens. We don't need no hiccups when his signing bonus is due. And all those things, all those incentives, we got to have the money there. So, Rattler Nation, we got to do our part. That being said, I anticipate all that to happen. That being said, I think he's going to put together a phenomenal staff. I think he's going to have a FBS level recruiting class. He went 20-4 in 3 seasons in his SIAC. Like versus like, 20-4, including going to the championship game in season 1. All right, and for those who don't know, out of conference, he played Valdosta State, who had Tremaine Jackson, and barely lost. That particular game was a close game. And Wingate, who was another school in North Carolina, PWI, that went to the playoffs. So judging by what he did in year 1 there, along with this is home, he's going to have the support. He's ready for this moment. I think the potential is there to have especially when you see what's happening in the SWAC East and who's in the portal and coordinators may be moving. And I think the opportunity that presented itself to Tremaine Jackson because of timing on the west side this past season, will present itself to the Rattlers. So I'm expecting a successful season. I'm expecting 8 to 9 wins, as the floor. So, and regardless of what we expect, what I love about the hires, I know QG expected. I know QG not only expected, he knows that Rattler Nation expected. And so the standard is the standard. I ain't got to say that. I know he gets it. And he's faced adversity, right? He's faced adversity as a coach and as a player. I mean, the championship run, a lot of Rattler Nation still ain't forgave him. so
I'm still mad about that, brother.
I know he's a man. He can handle adversity, and he's a leader of men. And so I'm ecstatic, man. And expectations are going to be high. Point blank.
Okay, well, I might be in the somewhat of the minority when I say what I'll say based on looking forward to the future. So big word for me is going to be patience. And while I'm not going to limit Coach Gray and his staff and his recruits to not being able to pull a 1-year turnaround, I'm not going to limit him to that because I'm a competitor at heart. I understand what I'm also a believer in saying what you want and working towards that thing. So I will never put them in the box, and I'm a real Rattler. So, I mean, a win is a win is a win for us Rattlers. So what I will say is that I am going to walk into this off-season, preseason with the word patience for him and his staff and what he would build, what he would bring. I believe in his ability to build. I believe in his ability to assimilate the players and the staff, assemble those pieces of the program. He's built a program before. This program needs some building, needs some retooling and bringing some folks back who might be ready, considering walking out the door. So I have firm belief and faith in him, but I'm also going to walk with patience to let him do what he needs to do. We gave him 5 years. We're excited about the 5 years. I want to see how he builds this thing up. And if it just so happens that at year 1 we rocking and rolling, I might have to bet Albar Troy after that. I just might.
So
Troy, your name got called, so come on now.
So for me, my bad. Go ahead.
I hear what Ash is saying, and please understand, we got to understand trauma when we see it. And part of what happened last year is everybody's reluctance to get overly excited. I ain't that person.
Not.
You can speak life and death through the power of the tongue. This has been manifested. Big Sir's fur coat told me we need to get ready to be in Atlanta next year. I need to get me a fur coat. I done been on Shein looking for a fur coat. We gonna be in Atlanta. Bet your eyebrows, your chest hair. Let's go.
I know that's right.
Come on, JP.
So for me, I'm gonna come out straight with that. I do expect 7 to 9. I think that's right where I feel like this team will be this year. We only know of 2 dates that are for sure locks. September 12th against Miami. So we might be playing potentially, if the playoff shakes out this way, we might be playing the national champions. Who knows? And then also too, November 21st, we play Bethune. We don't know about Camping World Stadium right now. Hopefully it's in Ray J personally. But outside of that, of course, on the road to Alabama State, on the road to Jackson, on the road to Lorman against Alcorn. And then you have Southern Valley, Pine Bluff, Alabama A&M. They all come here too. We don't know the Orange Blossom Classic opponent yet. Sounds like it might be Tennessee State, maybe, from what I've heard. It could be somebody else. I've heard Tennessee State, South Carolina State. I've heard Sanford might be an opponent. At this point, I'll just be glad when the schedule comes out. But I go back again to, what Nick Saban always says, get the right people on board, get the people that have high expectations, get rid of the people that have low expectations or mediocrity. Get the people that are going to buy into the same principle of the program and that want to do it right all the time and consistently well. But I do believe that Quinn Gray will be the one to get certain people in order. So I will say I do think my safe spot is 7 to 9 wins next year. I'm leaning more towards 9 right now. But who knows? We'll see. You never know. You could be hosting a SWAC championship. Never know. Hey, nobody expected Tremaine to be there.
That's right.
You're right about that. My girl Tashay couldn't be here tonight.
I'm in camp 7 wins myself. So I think 7 wins is kind of the standard.
Go ahead, Ash.
My girl Tashay couldn't be here tonight. She's traveling, holiday travel. But she told me to make sure. So shout out to Tashay, the other half of Fang Exchange. She wanted me to make sure that I give her prediction. And this is her prediction. I'm gonna read exactly what she says. Tell them that I expect Quinn to beat Valley by 40. That's it.
We all do. We all do.
Right on, sister. Right on.
Go.
Absolutely.
I'm kind of in line with everybody else. I think 7 wins, and I'll give the first year caveat to get everything in place because you can't always get everything first year, and there's no indictment of QG's coaching acumen or anything. But I think I believe with all the turnaround and everything going on, and I'm glad that the process started early so he can hit the ground running at the beginning of January instead of the last time we went through a coaching search. But I would say 7-win minimum. And I guess more importantly would be improved, if not improved playmaking and decision-making, if not outright wins against the ones that really caused us issues this year, being Jackson State, Alabama State, and Valley. Those things cannot happen.
Why do we have to name Valley? That is crazy.
Yeah, the fact that it's come up, but most certainly, and we'll have to see how the outer conference shakes out because I think we have at least 2 more that we need to line up in addition to Miami to see who those what schools are represented there. But just I want to say overall improvement in terms of how the games are managed, what decisions are being made, and I think Quinn's growth and maturation over the years, even from the time from when he was here last time coaching, about 11, 12 years ago up until now, and in his interview with us on O&G StrikeZone a couple weeks ago, kind of shows where that growth is and where we expect things to go.
EA, no, there's 12 games. 12 games was approved for FCS indefinitely. So every year you can schedule 12.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And when we're looking at that, right? And I love that Kelvin mentioned that 12 games is something for every year, right? Is that something where when we're looking at the Orange Blossom Classic, we mentioned the Florida Classic, are these some of the ways where now we can start having Quinn Gray come out there and start raising funds with his personality, with his name, with his cachet, and with his experience for the university in ways that maybe the previous administration couldn't because, faith had been lost in the program largely because of, the president search, but also because we came off a 12-win season to 7 wins.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's going to be great alignment with Quinn and the administration in every aspect. And you can see it in the contract, in every aspect of the program, frankly. For people who may not know, when Quinn was at Lincoln High School, we installed a turf field at FAMU, and we had spring jamboree and fall jamboree at Bragg Stadium that brought all the schools. In spring, it brought all the schools from like Madison County through Wakulla to East Gaston. Everybody had a jamboree and at the stadium over what was it, a 2-day period, I think it was. So that's the kind of relationship he has with the high school coaches and talent. That also brought funds to the athletic department because they paid for the rental of the stadium and some other amenities. So to your point, Keith, I know he thinks more deeper than perhaps other coaches do, and I'm sure it wouldn't shock me to see something like that happen. I know the state championship game is down in Miami this year and next year. Well, it was this year and next year. I think it's 2-year one. Then it's supposed to come back. I think Central Florida and then back to North Florida. I wouldn't be surprised to see it come back to Bragg whenever it comes back this way. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the alignment and the synergy between the coach, the administration, and the board we have. We just have to keep that momentum going.
Yep, and that's how you win championships. To be honest, you always hear it across the board in college sports. If you can, like sometimes you get your one-offs where you just have a great coach and a great team, but that alignment from top to bottom, from the university president to the ADs to the special assistants to the coach to the coaching staff, all the way down, and everybody's in alignment. That's championship level energy and effort that that bodes well.
Watch the Rattler F Club too. Watch the former athletes, football specifically. I've seen in some of their groups and some of their chatter, and they're extremely all in on this hire also, and so expect them to be more active in sending their recruits to the Hill, contributing financially more than what they have in the past, and being present. Being at the stadium, in the stadium, because they believe in and they understand that the person leading the program went through the same blood, sweat, and tears that they did, and won a lot, and always has been a son of the university and a great representative, great person too. We talk about all the accolades as a coach and as a player. But Quinn is a great person,
yes,
with a great family. So he represents everything you want in someone leading your team.
I'm excited for the spring game, man. I can't wait. I'm excited to see what this team is gonna look like. I wish they could play tomorrow.
Got to get some players first.
That's true too. That's true too. That's how antsy I am. I'm just ready.
And you kind of hinted at it earlier.
Yeah, it'll be here soon enough.
Yeah.
How many of this roster that is in the transfer portal do you think is going to come back next year?
I think that's to be determined. It depends on the coaches coming in, the style of play, what kind of, frankly, evaluation they have on the kids. And I'm not talking it so much on the field. I think some of the challenges is going to be, were you a good teammate?
Yes.
Were you disciplined? Did you put in the work? Quinn is a very disciplined guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And those guys who try to get over on talent, they're not gonna be invited back.
And I'll tell you,
even if they had talent, you know.
Yep. And what I'll say is that I've had personal conversations with a few of those individuals, and of course the conversation is spot on what Kelvin said. Like, the coach has it was announced today. What's his philosophy? How do they fit in on both sides, on the field, off the field? So those are the conversations that are being had as we speak. But I've had conversations, and I understand the sentiment of those individuals that got in the portal. And obviously, we all know the sentiment, as coaching changes will push most people to consider that. I do know a lot of the players who haven't necessarily announced any type of portal departures. They've been all waiting to see how this all played out, and now we see. And I've seen a lot of them show excitement. So I think the ones who are exploring the portal and fit for the scheme and the locker room teammate style that Quinn has will be able to come back, and we have a chance. Just know that we do have a chance. We just have to, things just have to align, and we can't speak for Coach Quinn. We have to let him decide what that means.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like certain guys, like, oh my gosh, Jamal Haley. And I feel like
before I throw a computer, right? Come on, JPs.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say, guys like Jamal Haley, Ace Cobb. I do remember hearing like Ace Cobb was somebody that he did want Quinn Gray to get this job. He wanted to play for him. So I mean, I'm excited to see like what he can be at his fullest potential. I feel like his hand injury kind of hampered him early in the year. Then he started to come on slowly at the end. So I'm curious and excited to see what he's able to do with another offseason to rehab his hand back to full strength and then be able to contribute in this offense like he's really capable of.
I've seen a few little items in the chat, and a lot of it revolves around a dedicated recruiting coordinator. We're in a new era. That title may have a different name, but if you see something like GM of football operations, that's what that is. Just so you know, that is a all-encompassing job now. So just be aware that you might not see a national recruiting court. It may be something else.
I agree. Yeah, I'm hopeful for some of that myself, man. Not gonna lie with y'all on that. So as we get ready, right? We're a few months away. A couple of coaching moves that need to happen. Recruiting needs to happen. Rattler Nation's excited. Asking everybody to make some donations here, right? Let's have everybody give your closing thoughts so we can close it out and everybody can get ready to start making their Christmas food.
You're on mute, Kelvin.
You Kelvin?
Yeah, you must have been reading my mind, man. Actually, I got to do almost all the cooking for Christmas, so that's exactly what's on. I got to finish all this prep tonight. But my final thoughts are this. First of all, let me say Merry Christmas to everybody, the panel, as well as the audience at large. Thank you for supporting us, for watching us. And my thoughts are that there's reason to be excited in Rattler Nation. There's a lot of positive things happening, both from infrastructure standpoint, as well as you will see better disciplined players in play. You will see better coach players in play. You will watch the game and not be wondering, well, why are we doing this like that pump formation? We'll have less of the. We'll look like the way the Rattlers should look, and we'll have some Florida speed. Those things I think you can count on. The rest of it, we have to see if it comes together. But again, I have to give a shout out to Suggs and everybody who was a part of this process and making this happen, because it was done in FAMU terms about as professionally and as thorough and as quickly as it could be done. And I appreciate that. It wasn't a bunch of drama, and I hope that becomes institutionalized, and that's the way we operate moving forward.
Right.
Yes.
Come on through, Troy.
Oh man. We told y'all this was happening. Not no football scoop people, not no people in faraway lands. The FAMU Avengers told you this was happening, and hold the faith. Everybody wanted this to happen in 2 seconds. It needed to be done properly, and it was done properly. Not only was it done properly, you are excited about it. You're donating. You're asking about season tickets. This is what a program looks like. Top down, on the field play, marketing, administration, everybody in sync, in step for one goal. Number 18. That's the goal. So I'm excited. I'm blessed. I'm cancer free. This
Amen.
is one of the best gifts that Rattler Nation could have gotten after what we saw the last 2 years. And we kept thinking it was going to get better. It didn't. Okay. So that lady made a change. And she made the change y'all asked for. I got to give credit where credit is due. Also, to the panel, thank y'all for embracing me, because me and my fat mouth was just off in the echo chamber of myself, yelling to the top of my lungs and betting eyebrows and chest hairs. So thank you for welcoming me. Merry Christmas to everybody and Happy New Year.
We love you, Troy.
Good. Come on through, J Peeps.
Well, first thing I want to say is before I do tomorrow, I get started on like making brisket for Christmas. I know it's gonna be different. We're doing like a full-on smoked brisket instead of like turkey. But tonight we watch Christmas Family Vacation and eat ice cream. Yes, Troy knows what I'm talking about. Yes. But you know, all in all, I mean, I will say, you know, I do think that we made the right hire here. He's going to get the support that he needs. I'm already excited because I'm going to renew these season tickets for sure. I look forward to being down in Miami, Orange Blossom Classic. I'm looking forward to, you know, making a trip up for the spring game and seeing that as well. You know, I'm just excited overall. We have been saying this since what? Alabama State game? Probably Jackson State game, probably. I'm amazed that it came to fruition, and can't wait to see how it all plays out. You know, we're gonna have to give him time with this 5-year deal. You know, again, year one may not be pretty. Then again, year one, they may come out looking like, geez, which one was it? They may come out looking like the 2001 Patriots. Who knows? So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I can't wait. You know, like I said, I wish they could line it up and play tomorrow, but I know you got to get players in, got to recruit, got to do what you do. But yeah, I'm excited.
All right,
Come on,
yeah,
Marcus.
for me, it's good to see career progression for Quinn Gray. You know, he's worked his way up. You know, he's hit pretty much all the stops you could in terms of being a head coach in high school, being an FBS analyst, and then leading his program and coming back to his alma mater. So I'm excited about that. Excited to see his growth and to see what he does for FAMU while he's here. You know, and also to see how the school matures and develops in terms of operating the overall department in a way that is sustainable, that it's not personality dependent, and it's not maybe even wins or loss dependent, but it's more dependent on supporting the program holistically. So, I think he'll be a good catalyst for that we don't have any of the drop off that we saw after we won a championship. And so I think he'll be a great coach for FAMU. He'll bring in the right people, have the right staff, have the right players, and make sure that he continues to do us proud. And also, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone.
I'll go before Kelvin, since, you know, split up the O&G a little bit. For Brian, I'm definitely going to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's a great day for FAMU, Rattler Nation, largely because, again, we've already stated enough about Quinn Gray coming home, but there's hope. Like we talk about in the Rattler Charge where faint, and, you just, it's not there. It hadn't been there. Like, that Rattler Charge has been very lifeless, very a waste of time because it was just a charge, but it was a charge that had no energy behind it, that had no promise behind it. But now it seems like the Rattler Charge is real, and doesn't matter who does it, doesn't matter if they do it great at it or not great at it. It actually now means something because we're fielding an athletic product that's going to follow through. A lot of this season, I didn't feel like we were going to get any follow through, but I feel like at least 7 wins, and I feel like the data supports that. So that's not just me, trying to give y'all eyebrows and chest hairs and talking outside of my neck. But when I come over here and look at first-year coach Jackson State, 7 wins. When I look at first-year coach at Prairie View, 7 wins plus. Like, when I'm looking at Chennisberry, first year, MEAC, 7 wins plus. So you won't be hearing a lot of the standard from me, but we're back in Bragg. It means that when you come to Bragg Stadium, expect to get your ass kicked.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the standard.
That's what it is, right? You got to restore the strike. That's our other little thing. Restore the strike.
All right. Well, I mean, I think I started off, Keith. Just thank everybody for watching the O&G and all of our platforms and supporting this collaborative show. And again, as we say, we'll continue to do some of this as things dictate. Also, we're putting together our guest lists for upcoming shows and going into the new year. And that'll be, and so we'll just stay tuned. Whether we do a show next Wednesday night, I'm not sure yet. But we'll let you know on social media. But I know that first Wednesday in January, make sure you be there because we should have a pretty loaded lineup for that show. But thank you. Please share our shows, and continue to support us. And if you have any ideas, things you like, you don't like, or guests you would like to see us bring on, please email us at O&G StrikeZone. Was that at Gmail, Marcus?
At gmail.com.
Yeah. Well, please communicate, interact with us, and we'll continue to bring you new content. Thank you. Happy holidays, everybody.
Let me give you one last thing before we go off.
Go ahead.
Fan Exchange's show every holiday is landing on Thursdays. Seems like New Year's, Thanksgiving, of course, Thanksgiving, Christmas. So we will not have a show. Obviously, Christmas is on Thursday. We want all family members to enjoy your family. So Merry Christmas from that perspective. We will have to find another day probably the next few weeks because at this point, all the holidays are falling on our traditional podcast night, or our show night. So just want to make sure I made that clear. Not our first traveling, but we'll find another night and we'll make sure y'all know about whatever night we decide to get on and chit chat a little bit. Merry Christmas to everybody.
A playoff watch party with Fan Exchange. That would be good, I think.
That would be fun. That would be fun.
Let's
maybe we can get all the shows on one network. Maybe we get them on BCSN or something like that. That might be some fun,
Yeah.
All right. I think everybody went, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think everybody's been good to go, man. So for everybody, the Avengers, and of course, y'all know Nick Fury can't be here. So for Brian Fulford and everybody here, we definitely want to say thank you again. And we're looking forward for next season. So when we hear spring game, I'm just saying, are the Avengers going to reassemble for the spring game?
Oh, you know it.
I mean, we're reassembling. I mean, we can reassemble for the recruiting class if you want to.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
when the schedule drops,
I've already talked to Brian about that. So
you know,
got some in the works. Got to work out some things, but we can maybe do a signing day thing.
Basketball tournament.
Yes.
In Atlanta.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Men's side only.
Should we make it?
You know what? I went the whole show. There's one thing I wanted to say. I went the whole show without even needing my water. But Keith, Troy, you almost made me drink my water. But Keith, here we go. I thought we was gonna make the whole show without having to take a sip.
Hey man, just because the laptop want to act stupid, don't mean the jokes ain't gonna keep coming. Oh man. Well,
anyway,
for everybody here, man, look, we'll be back for the spring game. Probably recruiting special, and we got some more recruiting stuff coming up, man. So we'll catch y'all later. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for a wonderful season. For everybody, O&G StrikeZone and everything in the Orange and Green Network.
Oh,